All right.
Hey. Hello. Okay. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing very well. And I know it's very early in the morning, but this is the kickstart for the hackathon. So I hope that everybody's here. If you're not, you're watching this video later, uh, good luck. Okay, so let's get started. So that concludes our crash course period, and we'll begin hackathon starting today. It'll start later at 10 a.m. It'll conclude at 12 p.m. tomorrow. And these are the details of what you will need to know. So pay attention and feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Feel free to look through the slides later on if you want to revisit some of these points as well. I've got quite a bit of details in here. Okay. Now let's get started. Before that, we need to again thank our partners, sponsors, and supporters for making this happen. Okay. Now let's dive right in. Hackathon Mechanics. The theme again is practical machine learning, so we'll be having a very strong issue-focused hackathon, and the rubric reflect this as well. And again, we have four thematic issues here: fighting climate change, modernizing, digitalizing healthcare, revolutionizing media and entertainment, and advising future of mobility. So whatever you make, whatever solution that you build to tackle, you have to fall under one of these categories. Okay, you can't come up with your own track, but you can come up with any problem statement you want within the track itself. So the thematic issues are wide on purpose. So you have maximal creative freedom in terms of deriving of a solution, because we understand that you're more constricted in terms of what you can build technically. So I want to give you more leeway in terms of your product design. Okay. So you have to define a problem statement first before you attempt to build something. Okay. So the issues themselves are too wide as a topic. You have to specify an exact problem statement. So don't forget that. Okay. So you should go from issue, state, problem statement to your solution. The problem solution pair of your product will be the key point of distinction and differentiation between you and other group. Okay, so you can expect most of your other fellow hackers to be building the same thing, because you're all required to build a Streamlit application. So do pay attention to the intent behind your product and what does your product do, how does it address the problem statement. So these would be a key point of distinction. So just to give you some example of the each of these thematic issues, to give you like some possible problem statement or avenue of approach. So this is just what I came up with one afternoon, just sat there thinking about it. Like, for example, fighting climate change, you can talk about the problem of constant flooding and rising ocean level. So if you think about it, what does that influence? That influence, housing population, people migration. So you can do something to help with the migration, or to track the rising ocean level, make it accessible to others. There's a lot of ways you can approach this. So you can also look at increasing global temperature, impacting agricultural yield. So that's a huge problem as well. We can think of how to solve that. If a loss of habitat for wildlife, increasing occurrences of forest fire, especially as of late in the past year, I think we had a few forest fires already. So I think this will be a very apt time to do something about it. And of course, there's much more of the kind of problems you can solve. Whatever you can think of, as long as it fall under the idea of fighting climate change, then you are good to go. Now, next one is for healthcare. So these are all mostly COVID related, because we are living in under such a heavy shadow of COVID. So, for example, increasing difficulty to keep track of all infectious clusters at the affected person. I think everybody knows MySejahtera and uses MySejahtera, but it might not be good enough. Maybe you can make something even better than that, right? Second thing is hard to enforce SOP compliance. Make sure people stay a meter away, this many people in a certain area and stuff like that. So hospitals are being overrun by patients. You have insufficient personnel, so you can do something about that. Maybe also some COVID ward frontline workers are exposed to higher risk of infection. So lack of doctor in rural regions for diagnosis and treatment assignment. Okay, so some places in rural India or rural East Malaysia, they might not have immediate access. They might be hours away from the closest clinic or hospital. So are there any way? And yet some of these people might have handphones. So are there any way you can do something to fill this gap? Okay, so that's what this problem is about. And of course, there's more. And for media and entertainment, some of the ones I can think of is like interactions are increasingly virtual, like this hackathon. Are there any way to imbue this kind of virtual interactions with a more human touch aspect to it? And people are spending more time indoors and may have a hard time coping with months and months of MCO, right? So are there any way, and a lot of people are under really high psychological stress and stuff like that. So are there any way you can help alleviate that through your app? Traditional stable entertainments are no longer susceptible to COVID. Going out to eat or going to the cinema, going to the theater. So those are not available anymore. Are there anything you can replace them with? Okay, so it's really, I think this space is really interesting because you can do a lot of stuff. Because human creativity and having fun has a very wide definition. So you can come up with all kinds of cool stuff, whether it be something that's based on movies or based on games or whatever. And also, it's very marketable, easy to adopt, easy to deploy and sell than others. So I'm particularly interested in this one. So if there's any, you guys, I'm pretty sure can think of something here since you're also young and very used to entertainment. So looking forward if any submissions regard to this and more. And lastly, future mobility. Is there a better way to travel, like on a third-party vehicle or transport services? Because if you right now, it's kind of like some people might be averse to taking Grab or taxis because of going to a third-party vehicle. You're not sure like how clean it is, right? How sanitized it is. So are there any way you can help build this this area of visibility and trust where you can safely know that this vehicle or it has been here in touch with this or something of that sort to ensure give people a sense of security. Are there alternative modes of transportation that would be safer rather than taking the bus or taking the Grab? Are there any way that could be safer you can think of? Public transportation seems to be very susceptible to viral transmission, for example, bus and train, right? So can you alleviate it somehow in some way? And more. So these are just some of the examples I thought of with regards to each of the track. Of course, there's much more, so do spend some time thinking about it, because I think the most interesting portion of your submission will be, the problem statement and the idea itself. Now, going to submission details. So this is really important, so do pay attention. First thing is submission requirement. A Streamlit web application is must. You can do more. You can submit a mobile app or whatever, but if you do so in addition to your web app, okay? And it's a web application is your MVP demo, it's your technical demo, so you must submit it. You can't just submit a deck as well, okay? If you have a deck, great. It helps you to build your case, but you must have your Streamlit application. You can do so without the deck. You must have the Streamlit application, okay? Like I mentioned, additional stuff on top allowed. External models framework libraries are allowed. Some people came to ask me like, oh, can I use can I not use Detectron? Can I use something else? Sure, you can, but you have to use Streamlit again. So you're open to use any tools you want. At the end, you just submit a pitch. It's a good demo video, so it's 3 minutes long maximum. You have to upload it to YouTube. Okay. You need to showcase your product in the video demo. You can talk about a lot of stuff in the video. You can talk about your problem statement, where you're trying to solve. What are the points of consideration, things for adoption, and so on and so forth. But you have to include a demo of your product in the video, okay, to show us how it works. All scripts and codes you use must be uploaded to a Git repo at the end. So at the end of the event, you'll have to upload 2 things. One thing is the YouTube video to pitch, and second thing is all your script and code for us to check. Upload it to a Git repo. Provide this link for us a link to check as well. So that's the point. And make sure your videos and repos are accessible through the link. Okay, so don't make it a private repo. Don't make it like a private video. Unlisted video is fine. People can't search for it, but you can still access it if you have the link. Okay, so make sure it's accessible. Here are some important time slot. Hacking begins basically in a while, 10 a.m. And then hacking submission open at the same time as well. Okay. And hacking and submission will end tomorrow, 12 p.m. sharp. So you have 26 hours in total. Okay, so make sure to make the best use of your time. And winner announcement and prize giving will take place tomorrow, 3 p.m. And we'll do our closing keynote and say goodbye at 3:30 tomorrow, just for 15 minutes or something to conclude the entire thing. Okay, so do keep this time and hours in mind. So just a bit about information about the judging rubric. It will lean heavily on how well thought out your solution is to your issue track. So concentrate on solving the problem. Okay, so the rubric's main evaluation category are as follows, just to give you an idea. So you evaluate on your technology, so your technical complexity, your tech stack, your design of product, your issue relevance, your impact and sustainability of your solution, and also finally your pitch and presentation. as you can see, we have heavier weightage towards issue solution solving thing, the pair of your issue solution. As you can see, C and D here is basically addressing or giving marks or assigning marks towards your how well your solution fits the issue. Okay, so you can see it here. You can see the full rubric here is shared as well. Feel free to check it out if you want. And just to introduce a bit of our judges, so these are our judges. So I have Shari and Professor Nonzaman and Navid two from Taylor's and one from Magic. So tomorrow they'll be basically going through all your submissions and providing you with your evaluation. Okay. Oh, I have to welcome them on board as well. Now, I'll just go through a simple example of a process of what an example process would be like, trying to tackle a hackathon. So first off, example procedure, how I might approach it. You can approach it differently if you want. First off, you pick an issue from a set of thematic issues. Okay, so we chose, like, for example, modernizing, digitizing healthcare. Specify exact problem statement. So for example, this is my problem statement. People having high risk of infection. Then you have to back the problem statement with credible sources if you can. Studies report. Give some numbers. For example, you can find some numbers here that talks about exactly the problem of people are being overloaded with work and there's high risk of infection and stuff like that. So this will be very convincing if you can fit it in, and design a product solution to answer the problem or challenge statement. So our solution, for example, is like creating an autonomous disinfection robot that will go around that can navigate through hospital rooms and environment and corridors safely through high-risk ward to perform disinfection or execute menial tasks by itself to minimize human exposure. And then once you got your ideas down, your concepts down, try to do your product design and scoping. Determine what kind of exact modules you need, what your tech stack would be, how your application will be built. For example, determine exact list of first aid kit modules you want to use and what's the core aspect of the product that you want to demonstrate in MVP. Because for my idea, for example, is now of building a disinfection robot. It's such a complex thing, right? There's so many aspects you need to do, but then you have so little time, have limited time. So you need to isolate the core aspect of your product to demonstrate, to build into an MVP. Okay, so because the robot, you can do hardware stuff, you can do the sanitization devices, UV ray, or use aerosol spray. A lot of differences. But the most important part for me, I think, is for the robot is actually the ability for it, first and foremost, the ability for it to perceive and navigate in a very busy environment. Because if it can't do that, then it can't do any of the other tasks. The most important thing for the sanitization robot is being able to tell what's going on in the environment and navigate in the environment. So what I'll do is I'll build a demonstration on the perception module. Looking at the using maybe detection for object detection, classification, segmentation, and using the depth estimation to tell how far things are so it can navigate in the room. Okay, so those are some examples. And then develop a prototype and rapidly iterate. Right, it's always a good idea to prioritize iteration over spending too much time into one particular iteration. You realize a rapid iteration would be usually the best strategy to go for. And then create a pitch, your pitch draft with convincing narrative or story and all the proper considerations and due diligences. Okay, so example, like, does your solution match current market or user trends? Is it legal? What are some foreseeable roadblocks that we need to address later on in order for your product, for a solution to be adopted? What is a significant size or demand for a product? So you don't have to put this in necessarily. I'm just giving you some example of some of the good points to address if you can. Shows you how serious you are, how much thought you put into your product. Cite relevant numbers and background information from reliable reports in your pitch to build credibility and show that you have studied your problem you proposed. Include your pitch a demo of your product and what it's supposed to do. Okay, like I mentioned, show us what your app is supposed to do. And then create your 3-minute pitch video, upload to YouTube. Note that the video is only part of submission. You have to build something. You have to submit the stream application. Okay, don't just send in the video with a pitch deck. That's it. No, you have to show us what you've built. And upload your working file to demo to GitHub repo. Send us the link, and you're done. So this is like example workflow that some of you may adopt. You can feel free to do something else if you want, but this is an example I give. Okay, so I hope that's clear for everyone. Do ask if you have any question, or ask later in the Ask a Mentor or Ask the Organizer channel if you have any uncertainties or concerns. Now, just to close off by going through some miscellaneous stuff. Hackathon prize, just to cover it. So first place will be 1.25k, second place will be 750, and third place will be 500 ringgit. Okay, so do your best and try to win the top. Okay, so steps for winner will reach out to you shortly after the closing ceremony for follow-up on how we send you the prize money. Step for all participants. One thing for you also do pay attention. We will be giving out cool swags, again, gifts to you, stickers and t-shirt, like a shirt I have here for our participant. Because this is a virtual hackathon, so we have to do a bit more work there. What we'll do is we'll send out all these swags to you through post, which means we'll need your address. So later on today, we'll send out a form for everyone to fill in. Again, I know there's a lot of form, but that's the thing about virtual hackathon. I'm going to send you a form. Please do fill out the form. It'll be information about post-stage information basically, so we can get all this cool stuff to you. And more instructions will follow soon. But expect the swags and stuff to arrive to you perhaps end of the year or shortly after the beginning of the year. We tentatively plan to send things out like in a week or two, depending on how fast things go. So do provide us with all the information we have, so that we can send it out to you. Otherwise, might not make it to you, your swags. Refund update. So refunding is in progress. I've already refunded to some of you guys. Like I mentioned, please do send me your details as requested previously. Otherwise, I can't refund for you. I have your banking information for some of you to refund for, but quite a few of you, you do not. There's no corresponding bank account information on the receipt you sent me, so I can't do the refund. Okay, so send me your bank holder name, account holder name, your bank name, your bank account number, so I can refund it to you. And remember, if you are sending an email as a representative for your entire team of refunding, so I should refund all the deposit to you alone. Remember to indicate that in your email and tell me like the name of the people that you want to be refunded for as well. Okay, otherwise I'll just refund for you alone, because I don't know whether you guys are refunding separately or together. Okay, so do make sure to indicate that and send me this as soon as you can, so I can complete the refund as soon as I can. Okay. So that's it for everything. So these are some quick links for you to go through. Again, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, and that's it. Thank you. That's it for the hackathon brief. So let's see if there's any questions. I think, yeah, okay.
Yup, there's one. Yeah.
Okay, so during judging evaluation, you don't need to join any voice channel or stuff. We'll just evaluate you directly on the on your pitch video and your code. So there won't be Q&A. So during the evaluation hours, from 12 p.m. until 3 p.m., you can just feel free and chill with everyone and just play around. But there will be no Q&A for the judging. Okay.
Yep, I think that's the only question.
Okay, great. I guess everybody else is clear then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think once again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Discord. We'll be available to answer your questions.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. And so Hackathon will officially kickstart in 12 minutes time. And you can start building your stuff. Looking forward to what you guys are going to build. Okay, good luck, hackers. 26 hours counting down.
All right. Good luck, everyone. See you on another day. Bye.